So every now and then there's that hobby or that tendency that you're going to stumble on when you're seeing somebody that could turn you off. Is there something somebody could collect that would have you go like, ugh, yuck?
You already know.
Sure do.
Funko Pops.
What is the issue? You just associated with somebody you don't like? Was that it? Or is there other things about Funko Pops you don't like?
I think already beginning, I just didn't like Funko Pops. They have giant heads. They remind me of nerdy Bratz dolls.
I mean, I have a giant head and I'm nerdy and we get along just fine.
But you're a human. You're not a doll, a toy, a collectible. I'm just not into, I guess, collectibles like that.
Now, could you tolerate this?
For when you're so desperate you turn to the worst possible place. This is the Love Doctors on the Playhouse in the morning.
All right, Love Doctors, you other love gurus. I've been seeing a guy for about 3 months, and he's one of the sweetest people I've ever met. But I recently realized he keeps every single receipt. Coffee from a couple of years ago, saved. A sandwich from a road trip, saved. We stopped to get gas, saved. Movie tickets, saved. He has them labeled in envelopes by month and year and a giant drawer full. He isn't saving them for taxes. He says it's just kind of interesting to see what was I buying in 2015. He says everybody has a weird hobby and this is his. It could be comic book stamps or baseball cards. He doesn't see why it's an issue. I think it is so weird and borderline hoarder activity. Should this be a deal breaker for me?
I think you're being so dramatic because it could be worse. There are other things. He's collecting receipts. Good on him. Putting them in envelopes that I'm assuming then are like in shoeboxes or filed away. You're not seeing them. It's not like there's things. He has these framed all over your home.
You know what the funny thing is? So would I ever do this? No. Would I think it's super odd if I stumbled across this in somebody's home? Yes. That being said, if somebody was like, hey, here's an envelope of everything you were buying in the year 2019 or the year you met your wife or the year that somebody died or you got this new job, or I think that'd actually be really fascinating to rifle through and be like, oh my God, this was that time that we went to this restaurant. And
looking at the prices.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Oh my God. This was only $10 back then. Now it's $136.
and that was 2 years ago. Every year that goes by, that envelope of whatever receipts is actually more interesting, and I don't hate it. Could that get to be kind of excessive at some point? Sure, but it's kind of interesting.
I do think it is interesting if he ever does go back and look at it, or I think it would be interesting, like this is way far in the future, if he ever has kids and he passes away and they're like, let's look through some of the things Dad bought.
Yeah,
it's sad, but it could be interesting.
Well, and you think about the year that you met your guy. You could go through and be like, oh, yeah, and this was our first date. This was our second date. This was our third date. You could just kind of rifle through. How fun would that be?
And it's not like they're in the way.
Yeah.
Because she said it's like he's a hoarder. But she also said he's putting them in envelopes. I'm assuming filing away. It's not like he just has stacks of envelopes all over the house.
Yeah, I mean, if there's stacks of envelopes over the house, organize these things.
Yes.
But I felt like it seemed like kind of file cabinet-y to me when you said drawers. So I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's not bad. There could be worse things.
Next, Love Doctors here on the Love Gurus. My boyfriend and I have been together for about 5 years. Lately, family gatherings have turned into the same thing. When's the wedding? When's the wedding? When's the wedding? His parents ask, my parents ask, grandma asks, even strangers seem to ask, our neighbors ask. The weird part is, I think we're perfectly happy just living together and living a married life without being married. I'm wondering if at some point, though, we have to just get married to shut everybody up, or if eventually people will stop asking. I thought Amy might be particularly good at answering this for me.
Most people will stop asking at some point, but there'll still be people that will ask about it. I was engaged forever, and I think that might have been why, because people would see ring. Oh, you're engaged? When are you getting married? Well, I've been engaged for 6 years now. So,
yeah.
The fact that you're not engaged, I think that can kind of help you.
Well, there's really no reason to ask, right? It's not like my fiance and I. It's my boyfriend and I. This is just our status quo. This is what we do.
I think at some point people will stop asking. You'll get that random handful of people that every so often ask, and then you could say whatever you want. Oh, sometime in the future, or probably never. We're happy the way things are. Answer however you want. It will go away, though.
It seems like if you really kind of hit on the, we're pretty happy with how things are. Yeah, maybe someday. If you're very vague about it and don't really seem like it's a thing that you're working on, I got to imagine that stops the conversation. Because if it seems like it's something that might be in the works, well, I'm going to ask again later now.
Yeah, especially at family holidays, aunts, uncles, cousins. if they think you're working towards it, they'll be like, "Hey, did you ever get that planned?" If you just say, we're happy the way things are, it might happen, then they'll probably back off.
And to conclude this thing today, love doctors, yeah, the love gurus. My husband and I have been married for 4 years, and every time we travel together, we end up fighting. And I think I figured out why, because I paid a lot of attention on this last trip. If I pick the hotel, he says he gets to choose the restaurants. If I want to spend an afternoon shopping, he reminds me that he gave me that one, and now he gets to spend 3 hours golfing. He literally treats vacations like we're drafting fantasy football teams. By the end of every trip, I'm exhausted because we negotiate and go back and forth on everything. For everything I do, he wants something. For everything he wants something, I want something. He insists this is the fairest way to make sure we both get what we want. Is this actually a healthy way to vacation, or is this a sign we're not actually compatible?
I think it's a super healthy sign. You get to do something, so then he wants to do something.
That jerk.
Yeah, and you even said, you at first made it sound like it was all him. If I do this, then he wants to do something. And then you said, but then if he does something, it makes me want to do something. You're both the same person who wants a compromise. Since you got to do this, can we do this? Because I want to do it. I think that's fair.
Are you deciding these things like while you're there? Because I can see how that could be stressful. Like, plan your stuff out a little bit. I know every time we travel as a family, we have kind of an agenda kind of laid out. Like, it is not, at 10 a.m. we're doing this, at 11. But it's like, these days we want to accomplish these things. This day we're not going to really do anything. And you just kind of have an idea. I wonder if you guys sat down and you had a rough idea of what that vacation looked like before you went on vacation, if you wouldn't be fighting so much.
Yeah, especially how, you wanted to go shopping, he wanted to go golfing. What if you had those? Well, this will be our free day. You go off and do what you want. I'm going to do what I want. But then we know the next day, that's the beach and the amusement park day or museum day. You plan those days out.
Kind of strikes me as if you at least have it kind of figured a little bit. You wouldn't be doing this thing where you're like, oh, hey, let's go into this, I'd love to try that restaurant. I'd love to go in the store. And then the second you walk out, you're like, well, since we went into that store, it looks like I have a golf afternoon tomorrow. Like, wait, what?
I also can't believe, how do you even figure out restaurants? When we're there, I'm looking at my phone. Okay, what's near us? This place kind of sounds good.
Well, I'm kind of such a crazy, I thought that this was normal. Maybe I'm crazy. I'd like to feel like I've been there before I go. I want to know, this is the restaurants everybody loves. This is what people like to try. These are the sites people like to make sure they spot. We're staying here. There's the amenities we're going to want to try.
I think that's normal for some people. For my sister's family, her husband will look at, if we are going somewhere on a road trip and we're going to drive through a town, he looks at every little pit stop and all these things. There's a good hot dog stand and we should stop here. And I'm like, how did you even find this place?
Tell me more about the hot dog stand. That sounds delicious.
I'm not joking. Hot dog stands, Italian beef. Anytime we were traveling through Illinois, because that's where my family lives, he always would have some stop along the way for us to stop at.
Hey, we got to stop by the world's craziest, most giant thing of yarns, what we got to do.
I mean, it was mostly food places, so that was nice.